Nick, Dan Lanning and co. have once again done it again. They have swept another big time recruit out of a place that was not Oregon. I think today, the one we're going to talk about is very special. I really like what is going on down in Oregon. I think there's a lot of special things brewing in Eugene, and I think that the Oregon fans in particular are going to love this story.
Yeah, mine's Dan Lanning, like you alluded to in the opening, has done one heck of a job in the recruiting department. This team looks like it's going to be a force for a long time as long as he's running the show. But before we get into the report that you dug up, Ducks fan, got an interesting question for you guys to answer, as always, in the comment section below. Look, we know this is a great story program, a lot of great superstars, but we're not going to focus on the superstars today. We're going to focus on the grinders, the lunch pail guys, the guys who were the backbone of this program. Give me an example of your favorite Oregon Ducks grinder, tough physical guy who maybe never got the accolades he deserved. Give us an example of that, your favorite guy, in the comment section below. All right, Miles, I'll throw it back over to you now. What's the latest out of Eugene?
Yeah, Nick, this story is really interesting. There's a lot of intricacies in it that I think the Oregon fans are going to love. But let's get on and get right into it. Nick, four-star linebacker Kamar Mathudi, I believe that's how you say it. Apologize if it isn't, of Los Angeles, California, Los Alamitos High, announced his commitment to Oregon Tuesday night. The 6'3", 230-pounder chose the Ducks over Washington, Michigan State, and Utah. Mathudi ranks as the number 245 player in On3 industry ranking. He also tabs in as the number 24 linebacker and the number 23 player in the state of California. The Golden State linebacker joins Dan Lanning and co. in the Ducks top 10 class in 2024. He is accompanied by four-star quarterback Michael Van Buren and four-star wide receiver Jordan Anderson, among others. This is, of course, from Hayes Fawcett over at On3 Sports. All the best, great breaking recruiting news, so go give them a follow if you want to check them out. Nick, I think this is really great for Oregon. I think there's a lot of good things here, and I know you have some really interesting opinions on this, but there's one thing in particular I want to talk about, and that's the man who recruited this player. I'm talking about Tosh Lupoy. Once again, don't know if that's how you pronounce his name or not, but this is the defensive coordinator and D-line coach of Oregon. This guy is from Walnut Creek, California, former Cal Golden State Bear. This guy knows talent. I'm going to give you the last three big guys that he recruited, Nick, and tell me if this doesn't just give you some really good feelings about this guy. So we got Najee Harris, we got Shaq Thompson, we got Keenan Allen. This guy is got a bevy of top level recruits that he's pulled in. So I think this guy knows talent, especially at that linebacker position. When you look at Shaq Thompson, I think this is really interesting. I want to know your thoughts on all of this. Now, what do you think about this, Nick? What do you think about the recruit commitment to Oregon? What do you think about all things in Dan Lanning and co. today?
Yeah, I think this is a steal. I think this is a kid in Mathudi who's going to rise even higher up the charts. You mentioned his rankings according to On3. He's actually 176 according to 24/7 Sports, who I prefer a little bit more than On3 in terms of rankings, but really it's 6.5. But this is a kid who's going to just climb up the charts, right? This is a guy, as more people see his film and more people imagine where he's going to play in college positionally, they're going to fall in love with him as a linebacker, probably a middle linebacker. He's the ideal size. This is a junior in high school. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, has great speed, plays in phenomenal competition in California. He is every box you want to check. Played both sides of the football, was a running back as well, had some recruiting options as running back. Obviously, linebackers where he's going to be projected at the next level with the Oregon Ducks. But this is a guy who's a great athlete. This is a great find for Oregon. I would not be surprised at all if this guy just climbs up the charts. And look, I'm going to be another thing here. I'm going to do a little East Coast bias, West Coast bias here. I guarantee you, Mize, if this was an Ohio State commit, he'd be a 5-star immediately. That's how good this kid is. I think Oregon picked up a phenomenal steal. I think a lot of people on the East Coast aren't paying attention to this guy. I think he's going to be a special player for the Ducks. But it's not just this kid, Mize. If you look at the recruiting class, according to 24/7 Sports, just want to double check here. Yep, they're the number 8 class in the 2024 campaign. And look, I know it's early. A lot of things are going to shake out with that class. Let's give Lanning some credit where credit is due. He is right up there with the big dogs. The Notre Dames, the Southern Cals are only a little bit ahead. He has an average score on the same level as a Michigan, an average score in terms of recruiting talent as Penn State, Notre Dame. Like, they're recruiting at the same level as all the national powers. And we've kind of come to expect this from Oregon from a few years ago, but there was a little bit of a dip. But now we're seeing under Lanning that Oregon is in the middle of, I think, a massive resurgence. I would not be surprised at all if you look forward to 2025, 2026, 2027, just 3 or 4 years away, if this team is back in the college football playoff. I think that's how good of a job Lanning is doing in the recruiting department.
Yeah, Nick, I agree with you. He's doing phenomenal. This team is really looking to be a powerhouse. I think next year is going to be really great, but I'm really excited about this 2024 class. I think they have something special brewing, and it has just begun. We haven't even gotten to the thick of the 2024 commitments yet. So I think all of this is really exciting. I think Oregon Ducks fans need to stay tuned because there is a lot more to come.